What is going on, good people? What is going on, good people? You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. We're doing a Week 13 NFL news show here and a pre-Thursday Night Football breakdown show. Phone calls, voicemails, super chats. We're doing it live. We've got Jamar Chase, maybe on a snap count. Will CMC play? It seems like he's trending in the right direction now. He actually says he feels great. But do we believe that the workload's going to be more than a 50-50 divide as they try and keep him healthy for the playoffs? Deebo's trending maybe in the wrong direction now. We've got all this. Fields could play, or Willie. We'll break that all down and more. James C. first in the building. Corey, Maul, Navage, Joe, Trucker, Who, all first in the building. Punch that thumb up button. The Fantasy Football Show, it begins right now.
You are about to enter the Fantasy Football Show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. You are about to enter the Fantasy Football Show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the Fantasy Football Show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the Fantasy Football Show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasy.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
What is going on, good people? I'm your boy Smitty, and we're watching out for some of these players that are in the news right now is what we're doing. We're also getting ready for this Thursday Night Football contest between the Patriots and the Buffalo Bills. We're excited for Stevenson to have a day. Let's have a day, Stevenson. Let's have a day, Stevenson. We also want Josh Allen, Gabe Davis, Diggs, everybody to have a day. Fantasy scoring fest, please. I appreciate everybody being here. Hit that thumb up button, subscribe if you're new, and let's get into all the players that are currently in the news right now. And let's start off with Justin Fields. Justin Fields practiced in full today. This doesn't guarantee he's playing, but it does indicate that there's a very, very strong chance that he suits up in week number 13. Now, I think it's crazy. I don't know why they wouldn't give him one more week of rest. That's why I say don't expect him fully to play. Don't cement him into your roster. Don't set it and forget it. But, I mean, it seems like they want to throw him out there. It's crazy. Give him another week. The Bears have nothing to play for right now, and they have a week 14 bye. It makes no sense whatsoever, but it sounds like he's very likely to play now. I'm going to answer this once and for all for everybody that's going to ask me a Fields or Geno Smith or Fields or Brady or Fields or whoever. If you have Fields, you start Fields if he plays. Unless you've got Jalen Hurts or Mahomes or Josh Allen or Joseph Burrow, if you have Fields, I'm going to answer this once for everybody. And then if you ask me this question, no offense, it's just I'm going to get it 1,000 times. If you ask me this, I'm going to point to 5 minutes and 58 seconds into the video. If you have a dilemma between a lesser quarterback than Fields, and you ask me, should I start Fields? The answer is you start Fields if he's playing. Plain and simple. That's it. There's no debating. If you have Fields and he's playing, you play him. Could he get hurt? Yeah, that's the risk you take. But are you really going to sit Fields on the bench if he's going to give it a go and actually play? I don't think they're playing him to give him like spot duty or run him out there for a little bit. They're playing him to play him. Jamar Chase was limited in Thursday's practice. Now, he did say something that's a little bit concerning when he said that he's going to get out there and get some game reps. I didn't like the way he talked about week 13 and his involvement. It could be one of those pitch count things. Now, I'm going to get asked this question about 100,000 times. I don't think we're sitting him. I don't think you could present a scenario where, unless you have, 3 elite wide receiver ones, where I'm sitting Jamar Chase, even if I fear there's a snap count coming. There's probably going to be some sort of snap count in play here, because from his own mouth he said, we're going to get some game reps in. I don't know what that means, but it doesn't sound like he's playing full go. But if you have him, you've got to play him. There's not really much you can do if you have him, and you got to find a spot on your wide receiver, your wide receiver 3, your flex spot in order to avoid sitting this guy. You can't sit him. But I'll have more on this. Maybe there's more clarification coming. Maybe tomorrow and the next day change and he starts looking really good. He starts feeling 100%. You can't possibly know what you're going to do. On Sunday right now. So he's making assumptions. Everybody's making assumptions, but certainly doesn't feel like he's 100,000% lock. Okay. Yeah. If anybody asks that question, you guys know what time frame to direct them to in the show. McCaffrey believes he dodged a bullet with the knee issue and expects a full workload in Week 13 against the Dolphins. Now, what's a full workload? A full workload for CMC might be halftime. Now, the injury to Eli Mitchell, in my opinion, presents a potential opportunity for McCaffrey to get more than 50%. I think if Mitchell were in the lineup, they continue to use him 50-50. They let CMC do a lot of the work between the 20s and then put Mitchell in when they get inside the 20-yard line a lot of the time after CMC's kind of done a lot of the dirty work. I don't know what I feel. I don't know how I feel about this. We put CMC in the panic chamber. If you missed the panic chamber, we just aired that about an hour ago. So go watch that after this. But there's a lot of concern here for Christian McCaffrey because he's in a timeshare. We know that. Kyle Shanahan said, I want to give Mitchell and McCaffrey a 50-50 divide. Now, Mitchell being out, I don't think changes that. I think Mitchell's involvement in that was that he was the number 2. So I think Jordan Mason now becomes the number 2. Maybe Tevin Coleman becomes that guy. We've heard rumors about that. That's what makes Jordan Mason kind of a risk if you're going to actually roll him out there this week. But Christian McCaffrey and whichever running back Kyle Shanahan decides to anoint the running back to, probably Mason, could be Coleman, could be TDP later, Ty Davis Price. Whichever running back he anoints the running back to, it feels like it's going to be at best maybe a little bit of an uptick in production for McCaffrey due to the Eli Mitchell injury, but still very much at best case scenario 60-40 divide. But we don't fully know. McCaffrey could go have 150 yards and 2 touchdowns in this game, and then everybody's going to call him a 1.1. Then he's going to come out the next game and have maybe 85 total yards, no touchdowns, and then everybody's going to say, I knew I should have traded him. It's a constant up and down. After his big monster performance, his second game with the 49ers, everybody and their mother, including me, was like, this is what it's probably going to be. We don't know. This is Kyle Shanahan. No one can predict Kyle Shanahan. He's a frustrating individual, if you ask me. He's hard to predict, and it's not because it's good. He's hard to predict because he's set in his ways. He's hard-headed. We don't know what he's going to do. We just know that the divide is going to be probably messy all year long as they try and keep this guy healthy. And I don't blame them for that type of thinking. Hey, here's a guy that hasn't been healthy for 2 straight years. He's managed to stay healthy in 2022 so far. Let's not push our luck. And what place does he land? The most likely place to get injured as a running back in the entire National Football League, San Francisco. So honestly, I don't blame them for wanting to run him out there 50-60% of the time. It makes sense from a football perspective, but it's a frustrating fantasy football landing spot, and I don't think that's going to change. Hit that thumb up on your way in the door. We've got 52 thumbs up, but almost 200 eyeballs already filed into the building, so please punch that thumb up button. Subscribe if you're new. Help your boy Smitty, and drop a comment or question if you got one. Christian McCaffrey, I'm going to say right now, very much trending in the direction of playing based on these comments, but we just don't know what the divide's going to be. I would say count on 60-65%, I suppose. Jamar Chase, we already talked about that, but his counterpart, Joe Mixon, limited practice on Thursday, trending in the right direction, but still not out of the woods yet. So Samaje Perine must be owned by all Joe Mixon owners, and he would be a great play if you do, in fact, need to throw him out there. But it sounds like Joe Mixon's going to trend closer and closer and closer in the right direction, but we will see. Deebo Samuel looks like he might be trending in the wrong direction. There's some people talking about whether maybe he didn't practice for this reason or that reason. I think there's a lot of speculation going on. What we do know is he's questionable-ish to play week number 12 or 13. Questionable to play week number 13. Will he end up playing? Probably. If I had to guess right now, this could change tomorrow. I'd say he's close to 50-50, but I would say he's on the better side of 50-50, despite some of the reports today saying, oh, he didn't practice today. What's going on with that? I think they're just keeping it cautious with them, and I think that they're trying to rest him the best they can. Now, I worry more about when he's on the field. I feel like he's a potential walking injury walking into the remainder of the fantasy football season. So I have my concerns about Deebo, but if you own him, I mean, how do you not find a way to put him into your flex spot or your wide receiver 3 spot? So it's not a case of if he's playing, do you sit him? It's a case of, does he stay healthy all year? Is he going to play? Those are the only questions. If he's playing, you're going to start him in at least your flex spot. That's no doubt. So Deebo Samuel, keep close to the fantasy football show. We'll be breaking that one down soon. ETN limited on Thursday, but his OC said he will play. He's going to play. Everybody calm down. He's going to play. All right, he's going to play. That's according to his own offensive coordinator. He could suffer a setback. Of course, stay glued to the fantasy football show. You know I'll go live the moment any one of these guys that is borderline out gets ruled out. We'll go live and talk about it. Najee Harris did not practice Thursday. He's definitely on the wrong side of questionable, I would say, at this point. So Najee Harris, get ready to fire up Jaylen Warren. However, it could be a combination of Jaylen Warren, McFarland, Benny Snell. We don't know. I would bank on Warren probably getting the majority of the work, and he has looked very good whenever he's been used, so I think he deserves the shot, but we don't for sure know if he's 100% healthy or what's going on with Jaylen Warren. But Najee, very questionable for week number 13. If I had to guess right now, I'd say he doesn't play. David Njoku did not practice. Now, he's definitely questionable, to say the least. I'd say right down the middle. I don't think he's leaning one way or another, like he's not on the right side of questionable or the wrong side yet, but definitely questionable 50-50 to play in week number 13. And this is why I don't like Njoku. He's very talented, but this guy's just, he can't stay healthy. He's a monster. He's huge. And a guy that can't stay healthy, that has got the mass and size. And when I say huge, he's a monster, like muscular monster, absolute machine. But it's like this guy hitting the ground, it's got to take a toll. Every time he jumps up and hits the ground, like this guy's a monster. And a guy that's very injury prone, he's not going to hold up. He's not going to hold up. And so that's why he's never healthy. Having bad knees and weighing as much as he is, having as much mass as he has, when he goes up, grabs a football, comes down on those knees, your knee ligaments don't grow. It's like putting a bigger and bigger door on the same door hinges. Doesn't change anything. It puts more torque and pressure on the knee ligaments. This guy's got knee issues like crazy, and he's a monster. He's an absolute monster. So I don't know that he's staying healthy ever in his career. He's had a long time he's been in the league and cannot put it all together. But if he's on the field, he's a good start. It's just a matter of, does he finish the game, and will you have him for multiple games? I don't think so. Jacobs remain limited for Thursday's practice. This is one of those situations we got to keep tabs on. It feels like he's going to play. But could playing on this develop into a bigger and bigger situation? You know what I'm saying? He didn't come out of week number 12 unscathed and like, oh, everything's better. No worse for the wear. And he walks in healthier. It's kind of like he's staving off this injury from taking him out. And so I have some concerns about this situation long term. I do. But I do believe Josh Jacobs is a must start if he's on the field. Let's assume he plays. He feels like he's on the right side of 50-50 to play, but doesn't mean this won't develop into something different as he continues to play on it. So get him out there. He played injured last week, and he was an absolute monster. So that is the news so far for today that I wanted to break down. We've got voicemails to get to. So let's get to those Instagram voicemails from you guys. If you guys want to be a part of my Instagram voicemail group, all you got to do is go to my Instagram at thefantasyfootballshow.com and click on the subscribe button on my profile. And anybody that is an Instagram subscriber can be added to an exclusive chat group on IG by hitting that subscribe button, $4.99 a month, and you get to leave these voicemails for me every single day if you want. Let's hit the voicemails from the IG exclusive subscriber membership.
It's voicemail time. Drop a voicemail at the Fantasy Football Show on the gram. Tell your grandma.
Let's hit the voicemails. This one is from my boy Tyler.
Deebo in my flex. I also picked up Jaylen Warren. So if Deebo doesn't play, who do I play? Rashad White, Isaiah Pacheco, or Jaylen Warren?
Rashad White, Isaiah Pacheco, or Jaylen Warren? Rashad White, Isaiah Pacheco. Probably Rashad White, but there is concern with both of these scenarios. You've got Leonard Fournette potentially taken away. You got Pacheco. Just, is the volume going to stick? I think it will. But this is if Deebo doesn't play, and I think Deebo probably does play. So thank you for that question, Tyler. Tyler dropping the Deebo question. Here is one from Tyler.
David Njoku or Pat Freiermuth this week?
Njoku or Freiermuth this week? I'm going to go with Freiermuth because you have an injured Njoku, and you don't even know if he finishes the game, and he's so banged up. I'd rather go Muth, but they're both okay options, obviously.
Isaiah Pacheco, Rashad White, or Deebo Samuel at my flex?
So same question. We're gonna go with Deebo Samuel, Pacheco, or White. We're gonna go with Deebo, assuming he plays. But I love White, and if you have questions about Deebo or there seems to be some sort of concern, then I'm okay with White going into that matchup.
So I desperately need a win in Week 14 to get into the playoffs, but David Montgomery is on a bye, so I'm looking to trade him. Would you trade away David Montgomery for Kyron Williams and Isaiah Pacheco? Or maybe should I target Pierce and a piece? Or should I just stick it out?
Monty for Pacheco and Kyron. I'd rather Pacheco. Some might want Monty, and I understand why. But I would probably say, give me Pacheco. He feels like he's more of a lock right now. That could change really, really easily, but definitely feel like he's the better option. This one's from Tyler as well.
My wide receivers are Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, and Deebo Samuel. Deebo's at my flex. Do you think Wilson is a strong wide receiver 2 this week against Minnesota?
Yeah, he's strong. I'd say with Mike White in there, I like Garrett Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson's going to be very, very good moving forward. And like I always tell you guys, with rookie wide receivers, they get through that rookie wall. Even if it's not a physical wall, it's mental. It's the reps. It's the meetings, the workouts, the stress involved. They are used to the short college season, and once they get through what amounts to about a short college season, they break down for a little bit, and then they start picking up the pace of the NFL, the speed, everything, mental, physical, and then they start getting in a rhythm. And so I feel like Garrett Wilson, Christian Watson, Olave even, all of them are going to get into a groove. And hopefully this is what Pierce is going through right now too. Because Pierce is also battling bad game scripting and horrible blocking and all kinds of stuff that make it feel like, okay, maybe he's going through that and at the same time battling, just the offensive struggles, and maybe he bounces back as well. So there's some excitement there in some respect. I really believe, similar vamp like you just said here and pointed out, like Jamar Chase's rookie wall. I said trade for Jamar Chase. Everyone said no, trade for Jamar Chase over and over. And he went through a couple weeks where everyone kept saying, Smitty, are you sure? Are you sure? Because this is another week. He hasn't done anything. And then Jamar Chase blew up in one league single-handedly. So very much love the rookies right now, especially the ones we believe in. Ryan.
Hey, Smitty. I've got Deebo, just scared that he won't start. So I got Jennings to replace him, but there's still Marvin Jones, Van Jeff, Claypool, and Randall Cobb. A few others on the bench or on the waivers. Just seeing if you had any info on maybe who to pick up other than Jennings, if I'm just scared about that.
Yeah, I don't know about Jennings, man. I'd hope that there's a better option out there. The ones you named didn't seem like very, very appealing options, but maybe you could throw down a couple more. Like, give me a longer list of available guys. Cobb, I don't think I'm into that situation there. But hit me back with a few, like a bigger list.
Herbert, CMC, Etienne, ASB, Lockett, Deebo, Morrow, and Pacheco are my lineup. Bench is DJ Moore, Hasty, Knight, and Goddard on my IR, and Watson as a quarterback.
Yeah, thanks for that. Appreciate you, my guy. This one's from Jim.
Hey, Smitty, Geno Smith this week versus the Rams or Deshaun Watson against Houston?
I get this one about every 10 seconds. Watson or Geno, and there's no easy answer for this one. And I didn't mean that, Jim, that you shouldn't have asked it. I just mean that everybody's struggling with it, and I get it. I'm going to be asked this question about 100 times before this live stream is over. Watson's high risk, high reward. Geno's safe. And there sometimes there isn't an answer, and I don't want to force an answer here just to give an answer. Like I would waver until kickoff. If you want upside and you're okay with the risk, go Watson. It's a revenge game. If you want safety, go Geno. And Geno's proven it. And if you need safety, if you're favored in the matchup, maybe you don't go with the high risk play and you kind of wait and see what Watson's going to do. I will tell you this: if you don't start Watson and he has a great game, I don't think you're going to lose sleep at night. Because you're not making a dumb decision. You're waiting and seeing. You haven't seen this guy for multiple years, and you're just going to go roll him out there when Geno's been playing well. But I think you could get mad at yourself if you don't go Geno. He has another great game. You've been doubting him all year long, and he does better, and everyone's like, see why you keep doubting Geno. So Geno's safe. If you need high risk, you're not favored in the matchup, and you need a big swing, then I'd probably say Watson.
Which wide receiver would you rather stash on your bench for your playoff run? Elijah Moore or Drake London?
So this one's tough, but I'd say London or E. Moore. I'd probably say, I love the rookies, like I said, coming into form, but there's just not any production coming out of Atlanta. There's not going to be consistent production. They don't throw enough yardage. I want to say London very badly. He's very talented. But give me Elijah Moore. I feel like he could get resurrected with the presence of Mike White. Mike White's throwing, 300-yard games. It's very different than Zach Wilson doing nothing. And I feel like there's an opportunity, at least for Elijah Moore, to get a lot of volume. So I'm going to go with Elijah Moore. But it's a tough, close call. Kyle.
Hey, Smitty, would you play Jacoby Myers if he's cleared tonight? Or Sutton or Swift?
Swift.
Thanks.
Swift is by far the call for me. I wouldn't send you on a lap if you went in a different direction. But for me, I feel like Swift he's not on the injury report anymore. I feel like at some point, and I don't know if it's going to be this week, I'm merely guessing, but I feel like at some point he gets unlocked. At some point, I feel like he does get unlocked. It might be too late for a lot of people that own him. I get that. It's going to be depressing when he gets unlocked and you're like, I'm already out of it. Great. Fantastic. Thank you, Swift. But Swift feels like he's eventually going to have that breakout game. And Jamal's been, in top 5 and maybe higher than top 5, somewhere around top 5 in carries this year. It's not shocking. It's not a shocking proposition here, to think they start swapping the two of them out a little bit and start giving more work to Swift and less work to Jamal. I mean, or Jamal could continue. They love the divide. So I don't feel like one's going to unseat the other. I think they just want to use both of them. The question is, can they give Swift enough work to make him have 100 yards and a touchdown on the regular? I don't know. But with your options that you gave me, what were those options again?
Hey, Smitty, would you play Jacoby Myers if he's cleared tonight? Or Sutton or Swift?
Swift for me of those options. But they're not horrible options, but I would take the gamble on Swift, but that's me.
Hey, what's your take on Garrett Wilson for the rest of the season and in Dynasty Leagues? Thanks.
Yeah, I already addressed this one in a way, but I like him a lot with Mike White in town. He's definitely a wide receiver 2 potential guy moving forward. Let's not get carried away and call him a wide receiver, 1 or anything in fantasy redraft, but I do feel like Garrett Wilson in Dynasty has the potential for a wide receiver 1, a low-end wide receiver 1. Do I ever see him being the number 1 wide receiver or being in that top 3 conversation? Not right now, but that could change. I mean, it's not something I'd say I feel fully comfortable making a call on one way or the other. But do I think he could linger in that, McLaurin range for value, coming into the draft? McLaurin's a 3rd or 4th round pick. Could Garrett Wilson get to the levels McLaurin's hovered at for years, or maybe even get to a Mike Evans level of fantasy football value year in and year out? I think he could, and that's a low end wide receiver 1, so fully capable of getting to that point. Thank you, Joseph, for the voicemail. Going to voicemail group number 2. This is Baked In.
Hey, Smitty, would you trade Christian McCaffrey, who's in the panic chamber, and CeeDee Lamb for Travis Kelce?
Trade Christian McCaffrey for CeeDee Lamb and Travis Kelce? Let's see here.
Hey, Smitty, would you trade Christian McCaffrey, who's in the panic chamber, and CeeDee Lamb for Travis Kelce?
And CeeDee Lamb. No. I thought I was getting CeeDee Lamb and Travis Kelce. I'm not trading CMC and CeeDee Lamb for Travis Kelce. No way. No way. If you wanted to do a 1-for-1, we could have a conversation about it. I think half the chat would like it, half the chat would not. You can't give up CeeDee Lamb and Christian McCaffrey. That would be highway robbery on the other side. We would have to, I haven't created it yet, but we'd have to play the he got you button. Okay, that's way too much. I feel like, let's see here. I feel like I saw a question in the chat I was going to address, but this next one's from Victor.
Yo, it's me. What's up, Victor here? What's the best landing spot for Bijan Robinson in the NFL draft? I think he's going to be a first-round player for sure. And I can see the Dolphins drafting him. Maybe the Bills. The Chiefs, they have Clyde and Pacheco, so I don't know.
They could, but...
What's the best spot for you?
I haven't broke all that down yet, but off the top of my head, I'd say, great landing spot could be... I go back and forth whether I want it to be Arizona. There's a lot of mock drafts that have Arizona taking Bijan Robinson. They've been passing on running back after running back. They could have had Breece Hall. They could have had Kenneth Walker. They could have had Najee Harris. They keep passing on running backs, and they want to run the football a ton. A lot depends on what happens with the coaching staff in the offseason, but there's a real potential for a team like the Cardinals to draft a running back like Bijan. Past that, I mean, it depends where Jacobs goes. There's a lot of moving parts involved with a lot of these potential landing spots. So we'll have to kind of play it by ear. I'll do a video on this, but there is some talk about the Cardinals. That is one of the potential landing spots people are talking about. And if they were to feed them properly, I'd like it, but I'd have some concerns, and I'd be excited in some ways. I'm in Arizona, so I really am pulling for it in one sense. But baked in, boys.
Given your response to this last voicemail, would you trade, or would you have a counter to that trade offer with CMC?
CMC, I don't follow. Counter offer for what? I mean, I need to know what we're talking about. Like, of course, I would potentially want a counter offer, but I have no clue. You're gonna have to give me your team.
Given your response to the...
So I'll check back, baked in, boys. I definitely need to get, let's see, did I miss this one?
Given your response to this voicemail I left, would you trade Dalton Schultz and CMC for Travis Kelce as a counter offer?
Dalton Schultz and CMC for Travis Kelce. No, because like I said earlier, just to give you an idea, I believe CMC and Kelce are, you could say, equal in value. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you want to have a conversation of trading CMC, who's probably ranked higher to most people than Kelce because he's an RB, but because Kelce's exploding and people worry about Christian McCaffrey, I think a lot of people would be tempted to say, I'd take Kelce, give me Kelce. But that's it. Like, it's 1 for 1. You know? 1 for 1, but you give up a guy like Dalton Schultz, who's a top 4 to 5 tight end. That's just not, like, 1 for 1 maybe, but not giving up Dalton Schultz on top of it. He could CMC and Dalton Schultz for Kelce. That's a steal. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that trade at all. I like Dalton Schultz a lot, and he's a top 3, 4, 5 tight end moving forward. So I'd say you need to go more along the lines of even Steven type of swap with Christian McCaffrey and Kelce. I mean, Kelce, I think most people would say Kelce's better, but I don't think I make that trade straight up. Who cares about Schultz? Well, Schultz is a top 3 to 5 tight end right now, bro. Tight end pool is very, very thin. Granted, why you'd want to go after Kelce, but you give up CMC, what's that do to your running back stable? So, baked in, give us your whole lineup. Could change things, but probably not. I think that's all the voicemails for now. Open the phone lines. Hit it.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial into the show. Let's go. Drop your questions. And I can, I don't know if I'm going to marker board everything today, guys. So try to keep them short, your phone calls. Not the whole lineup, not the whole, we'll do as short of phone calls as we can. Yeah, CMC for Kelce straight up, I like that. That's what I'm pushing them to do. But to give him a top 3 tight end, it kind of defeats the purpose of making that trade. Unsure Johnny, you're live on the Fantasy Football Show.
What it do, Smitty? How's it going?
What's up, man?
All right, I got a quick question before the game starts tonight. I got Olave in my wide receiver too, but I'm looking at Gabe and he's looking like making me unsure.
Yeah. Olave.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like Olave a little bit more, but I like both of them. Like, those are two guys that I like to have in my. So I don't know. It's pretty tough. I think Gabe Davis, it's a Thursday night game. You could let that influence you. Thursday night games are usually disappointing to a lot of degrees, but this is a tough defensive matchup for the Bills. So could it be lower scoring than we'd like potentially? But you can't. Olave and Gabe Davis are very close, and you can't get mad at yourself for going one way or the other. Because they're very close calls.
Is it worth mentioning? I also got Christian Watson.
Yeah, he's probably a safer play out of the three of them at the current moment, given his touchdown production and given what he's been doing. But I like all three of those guys neck and neck, man. Like, you could ask me that question at game time, and I'm gonna waver and just it's close. Olave, I like a little more than Gabe. I like Watson about the same as Olave. I mean, Watson's playing great,
Yeah. I think I'm going to hold out on Gabe then. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. It's just, it makes me like, I'm wavering, bro. I'm wavering right in front of you.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'd rather enjoy this game tonight instead of
Yeah, but don't ever start a player based on wanting to watch him. That always backfires. But it's tempting. It's tempting to say that you want to watch him. The hard part is you don't want him to score big on Thursday night. Watch it. Like, that's the catch, right? That's the psychology behind it. You don't want to be watching a Thursday night game and hating it when it's actually going bonkers. You'd almost rather at the beginning of the game rather take the chance that you could be depressed and not have had to sit through an entire Thursday game. Like, you know their football to watch. It's just this game and watch your guy just go crazy. It's really hard. I'd venture to say if you did a study that there was a higher percentage chance that worse players were started on Thursday night versus better players on Sunday because of that fear. I'd almost guarantee that study would show those results because it's a fear people have. But I like Gabe Davis, man. I do expect Gabe Davis to have a big game.
All right, that sounds good then.
Yeah.
At least he's on my team.
Yeah.
All right,
bro.
Appreciate it.
All right, later. This one's from Blackbeard.
What's going on, Smitty? Would you start Garrett Wilson or George Pickens this week?
Garrett Wilson or George? I'd go Garrett Wilson. I like Garrett Wilson. I think both of them are great plays, but I would definitely go Garrett Wilson if it were me. Next up is Travis. Travis, you're live, bro.
Hey, Smitty. I just figured I'd run it by you one more time. I saw Fournette's definitely coming back this week, right?
Yeah, but what does that mean? Everyone's like, it's so funny how everybody takes it. I'm not saying he couldn't come in and get half the work, but it's so funny to watch how fickle everybody is on news. It's so funny. It makes me laugh. I'm not saying I even heard anything that makes me feel guaranteed that White's the 70% ball carrier or anything, but it's like people will say things like Letty's back, there goes Rachaad White back to the bench, or oh my God, should I trade Mike Evans for Leonard Fournette? And it's like I mean there's nothing to indicate that they're moving back to Leonard Fournette. He was essentially benched before the injury happened. So could there be some kind of 50-50 divide? Absolutely. Would I like Rachaad White owner to trade for or pick up Leonard Fournette if someone dropped him and have that duo? Yeah, I would like that for anybody that has Rachaad White because I think it'll be pretty solid. But am I concerned? Like, I don't know. It depends on where White is in your lineup. If he's your flex play, I still like him a lot as a flex. I still think. Go ahead.
My question with White was just because I'm trying to get the trade done to get Devontae Adams, and I'm trading AJB and plus one of either Garrett Wilson, Pacheco, or Rachaad White. I just wasn't sure. I talked about it last night with you.
Garrett Wilson, Pacheco.
Go with Pacheco.
Garrett Wilson, Pacheco, and Rachaad White. That's your three.
Yeah, I can choose one of them. So I'm trading AJB and one of those three for Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I'd probably say Pacheco's safer than White. And again, I see some of the comments. I'm not once saying that Leonard Fournette's not going to dig into his carries a little bit, but there are people acting like Fournette's starting, and he's not starting. Or that he's for sure starting.
Pacheco or White?
I'd rather have Pacheco over White, and Garrett Wilson is very close with Pacheco. So you'd take Pacheco over White now? Yeah. I mean, it affects it, but it doesn't make Rachaad White vanish. You know, if you've got amazing options where Pacheco and White are close anyway, they're both close. Pacheco's right up there with Rachaad White in terms of potential value. So, you know, you start.
Yeah, that was kind of my question, was that because I was, as of last night, I was thinking to send Pacheco in the deal, but if Rachaad White, you think because Fournette's coming back, that kind of diminishes him a little bit?
I mean, it doesn't. Again, I don't like the way people are freaking out about it, but is there a certain amount that it factors into when you have two very good, very close options? White and Pacheco are very close, bro. So if Fournette's in the mix, it doesn't make me scared of using White or think White's going to vanish. It just says, you know, Pacheco might be a slight safer option for right now. Like, what if Leonard Fournette doesn't even play again? Just because he's practicing doesn't mean he's going to play. We'll find out. He's probably more likely to play than not at this point, but I certainly am not afraid to use White. It's just Pacheco's a little better. All right, bro.
So out of those three, would you be leaning towards center Rachaad White then, like in that order?
Out of those three, what?
Would you hold on to Garrett Wilson over those two?
So what's the trade?
Devontae Adams for A.J. Brown plus one of those three. Any one of them. I know, they're all so close, I know.
I feel like Rachaad White's got better long-term value than Pacheco just because I fear... It doesn't mean I feel it's a lock or anything, bro, because I know you're going to ask me next, so you don't think White or Pacheco will hold on to their job. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I fear more Pacheco has less security than White long-term on the year, the remaining 5 weeks. So I'd probably say send Pacheco packing, but at the same time, bro, it could go either way. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I know. Pacheco could go for 150 and a touchdown this week. I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, Pacheco feels safer this week.
Right now.
Safer this week, less safe long term. I think White is potentially the future of that Tampa Bay rushing attack, but we just haven't got confirmation yet, and so yeah. But I love Devontae Adams. I mean, I do that trade. I do it now. Yeah. Don't linger, or he's going to take it away.
All right. No, I'll get it done. Thanks, man.
All right, later.
Appreciate it.
All right, I got Wes on hold, and then another caller. Let's go with the other caller first because he was waiting longer than Wes. I'll come to you.
What's up, Smitty? How's it going?
What's up, man?
So I just have a question about my flex. It's actually funny, kind of similar to this guy's question. Would you flex Rachaad White, Pacheco, Allen Lazard, or Pickens this week?
Rachaad White, Pacheco, Allen Lazard, or Pickens. I mean Pacheco. For this week.
Pacheco?
Just for this week.
Cool.
But
okay,
I mean,
I think that's you. And also, are you firing up Fields like no matter what this week, Justin Fields?
Go to 5 minutes into the video, bro.
Okay.
I've directed everybody to that asked me a Fields question. In short, bro, Fields is starting. You have to start him. And for everybody that's going to ask me a Fields question on the show, that's my answer. Like, if you have Mahomes or Hurts or Burrow, of course you're starting him over Fields. But, like, we're not sitting Justin Fields if he's playing for Geno or Watson or other players. If Fields is on the field, you need to throw him out there. It's not a time to mess around when you got a guy that's going to play football that that does what he does. Like what do you expect him to do? Come out there and what? Not play well? Like if he's playing, he's playing. I mean, there's risk for injury, but you know what I mean. Like how are you gonna sit him? How are you gonna feel good about watching Fields go nuts on your bench?
That would hurt.
Yeah. All right, bro.
And then my last thing, ETN. Do you know his status? Like you started ETN no matter what, right? He seems pretty healthy.
Yeah, bro. His OC said he's playing. He could have went back onto the field in week 12. There's no concern with ETN right now. If he has a setback or something, you could be sure I'll be creating a live stream immediate, breaking news video on it. But I mean, ETN's own offensive coordinator said he's playing. Everyone keeps asking him. He's playing. So if Fields is playing, you play him. If ETN's playing, you play him. Like these are the studs that got you here. There's no time to get cute or second guess, the monsters that got you where you are right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Later. Wes, you're up.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, Wes?
Real quick. So kind of the same thing as last week. I got nice stud running backs and a lot of receivers. So I just wanted a quick, should I start Olave, Christian Watson, or Christian Kirk? I'm sorry.
You have Watson or Kirk?
Both.
Okay.
Just wondering which one should I start?
I waver
one.
You what?
No, I was gonna say, should I bench one of my running backs, which is Stevenson, Jones, and Barkley?
No. I waver between these two wide receivers, and I honestly will waver until kickoff. So Watson and Olave. I think Watson's probably a tad safer right now. The touchdown production's there. He's been absolutely, solid. Probably the safest move. Olave's probably more talented, but his situation is not as good. I think until Winston or the quarterback change happens, and because he was like air yardage king when Winston was in there. He's just one of I think number one in the league for air yardage, and I think it wasn't even close if I remember correctly. So I don't know, bro. There's no way to know who's going to score more, Olave or Watson. They're both very good. They're both rookies. They're both coming into their own. Like I explained earlier, it's that whole narrative of rookies getting through a mental, physical, emotional rookie wall, and they both should be very, very good. The difference is Watson's getting peppered with targets, even if we're worried about Aaron Rodgers and everything. Even if Love comes in, he still should get peppered with targets. I don't think his situation will change. Olave, I just don't know. You just don't know if he's going to get enough looks, But I do like Olave physically a little bit better, but Christian Watson has got more momentum. So safe play, Watson.
Okay, so it's a dud for Christian Kirk. He's just out of the question.
Yeah, so if you pick two, then yeah, I'd put Kirk on the bench.
Okay, and then last one, Gabe Davis, Rashad White, or Ayuk?
I'm not trusting San Francisco players right now when you have better alternatives. So Christian Watson, and who was the other one?
Gabe Davis. No, this is a different story.
Okay, Gabe Davis, Rashad White.
Ayuk or Rashad White?
Probably Gabe Davis. I don't know. That one's tough. Probably Gabe Davis. Okay. But I mean, honestly, man, we could find out tomorrow or Saturday that Tampa Bay is not playing Leonard Fournette, and then you're like, oh my God, But I mean, that's the risk you take, I guess. But I definitely feel like I would want to lean Gabe Davis at the current moment.
Right.
But that could change, bro. It could change in a snap. I appreciate you. Ron Navy.
Again,
Ron Navy, what's up, man?
Hey, brother. Finally got my electrician out of here. So I figured I'd give you a quick call because you said call in.
Yeah, I didn't get my pick'em printed out here, so go ahead. What you got for me?
I got I did too, but let me give you this one. I got Tyler Bass at getting more than 2.5 extra points, so basically 3 extra points.
That's
I
a
got
good
Gabe
one.
Davis at over 53.5 yards. Stevenson higher than 62.5 rushing yards. Isaiah McKenzie higher than 3 receptions. And Devin Singletary higher than 53.5 rushing yards. The other one I did a little differently. I went McKenzie higher than 29.5 receiving yards. Nick Folk greater than 1.5 field goal. Gabe Davis, again, over 53.5 receiving yards. Ramondre Stevenson, rushing or receiving touchdown.
Yeah, I like that one.
And yeah, so you can intermingle, but those are the 2 I did.
Yeah, I'm gonna screen share my my pick right here. I've got let's see, where's that at? I forget what I was messing with one, and I think it was the one I liked more. One I didn't like. I haven't done a lot of unders, but under rushing yards for Josh Allen, 47 yards rushing. I could see him doing it, but at the same, that's a big number.
I almost picked, but he's been rushing. When you look at his last 2 out of 3 games, he's rushed for over that.
Yeah, but
it's just kind of like one of those.
Do you think he does against the Patriots? I don't know.
I didn't even choose any of his options because he scares me too much.
Yeah.
He could go over or under, depending on the type of night he has.
It could be a breakaway run. They don't have any touchdown predictions for Josh Allen tonight.
No, the only touchdown predictions I saw was the one for Ramondre Stevenson for tonight's game of all the players.
Yeah. Mac Jones, 245 total yards. I don't know. I kind of like the under on that.
Is what's his name out, or is he in their oh God, what's his name? Their defensive player, their defensive end.
I'm not sure if I have to check the news real quick. I've been live. 300, 240, 147. Mac Jones. I'm gonna go ahead and say he's been under a lot more than he's been over. I'm gonna go under on the passing. Oh, not on the passing attempts. Whoops, wrong one. Let's get rid of that one. Mac Jones under 242 total yards. Okay, let me take a screenshot of this one, and this is going to be the one that I'm gonna lock in here.
Okay. Yeah, I stayed away from the quarterbacks tonight. I just didn't trust them on a Thursday night. So.
Okay, so here, guys, here are my locks for this week, or for this game rather. These are my locks for this game, and Ron Navy gave you his. Here's mine right here. This is for tonight's game only. Stephon Diggs over 85.5 receiving yards. Gabe Davis over 50.5. Tyler Bass, I like that when I added that one when you said that. 2.5 extra points made, so 3. Mac Jones under 242. Ramondre scoring 1 touchdown. It could be rushing or receiving. So that's my pick there. $20 holler from Robert. Robert. Robert, appreciate you, my guy. Robert says, Smitty, here's a situation. I'm playing the number 1 guy this week. He has Brandon Cooks. He is questionable. Should I pick Nico and drop Elijah Moore to block him from potentially picking up Nico Collins? No, I don't. I'd rather have Elijah Moore, and I don't ever worry too much about the opponent, bro. I would say no on that. Ron, real quickly, hang tight while I get these super chats because these could have some kickoff implications here. I'm sorry. Smitty, need help.
No, that's okay. Hey, let me let you go.
Okay.
I got to go eat anyway.
All right.
I wanted to call in and give you that info.
All right, later, Ron.
So I'll talk to you later.
Appreciate you.
Good luck tonight.
Ron Navy. Need help, full PPR, trade away CMC, Ayuk, and Jeff Wilson to get Kenneth Walker, Pollard, and Godwin. CMC, Ayuk, Jeff Wilson. I'd probably say that this is a close even Steven type of trade. I'd probably go with the Walker side, get Godwin and Walker together. That seems like the best side of that, but it's very arguable, very even Steven. Fields or Mike White, we're going to go Fields if he plays. Trucker, if he plays, you got to get him out onto the field. Sup, Smitty, Dak or Cousins for the remainder of the year? I'd probably go Dak, but it's very, very close. One could argue either side. It would be very, very, very close for me. Let's see here. This one's from Johnny. Johnny says, start T-Law or Fields. If Fields is playing, you play Fields, broski. It's just the way it goes. Thank you, Johnny. Brian, for flex and running back 2, Rashad White, Gabe Davis, or Jeff Wilson Jr., Pacheco. I probably go Gabe Davis and Pacheco and put Jeff Wilson on the bench with a tough matchup, although I do like Jeff Wilson this week. I wish you could start him as well, and Rashad White on the bench, but that's me. Very close call. Trust your gut. Blind says, my Mixon, Hopkins, Freiermuth, possibly Rashad White as well for ETN and Kelsey. Mixon, D-Hop, Freiermuth. I would take ETN and Kelsey, and I'd run. Absolute steal of a trade there. Ozzy, appreciate you. Need a strong wide receiver and a 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, 1 flex league. So you need a strong wide receiver 3. Trade Rashad White for Mike Evans. I would definitely do that. Garrett Wilson, I'd rather have Mike Evans probably than Garrett Wilson. Many would disagree with me. I like both of them. They're both pretty good. Currently have Burks. Burks isn't bad, though. Like, I don't know if you trade Rashad White if you've got Burks to put in there, though. Like, Burks isn't bad. But I do it for Mike Evans. I don't know if I prefer Garrett Wilson all that much over Burks. I probably do, but I don't know at the expense of making that trade. JJ Tyreek, yeah, it's a good squad, Ozzy. But I don't know that I make the Garrett Wilson trade. I do like him though. If you have a gut feeling about Garrett Wilson being a top 12 wide receiver going forward, then do it. You know how much I love Mike White. Rank Terry, C. Watson, Pollard, Rashad White, Myers, Pierce, Dylan Burks. Probably say Christian Watson, then I guess Terry, and then I guess I go Pierce this week at least. Appreciate you with the super chat. Problem blessed with a $5 hauler. Problem, appreciate you. Just got in the playoff bracket. Need a win. Need a win lineup. Hurts, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, JT, Swift. Okay, so 2 running backs. You got ETN and JT. Boom. 2 wide receivers. You got St. Brown and probably AJ Brown. So you need 1 flex. That's very, very tough between. Oh no, you have Walker too. Walker, ETN. Okay, so Walker, ETN. Probably AJ Brown and St. Brown, and then you got to go JT. JT over Swift, JT over DK. Yeah. Appreciate you with the super chat, my guy. Those are tough calls. Trust your gut, though, okay? Start Gabe Davis or Mike Evans, full PPR. I like Gabe Davis a lot. I want you to find a way to get him in your lineup, but I think I start Mike Evans over him. Josh Allen is my QB, so Gabe Davis is a stack. I got Damian Pierce in my flex, so I could also put him in there. I guess I would debate, I guess you could go Gabe Davis and then debate Mike Evans and Damian later. I like Gabe Davis tonight, but he has a tendency to be up and down, so it's a tough spot. I guess I'd go Mike. In PPR, I'd probably go Gabe Davis. I like Pierce a lot, but I'd put Pierce on the bench. I go Gabe Davis and Mike Evans, I guess. But that's tough. I mean, Pierce could have a bounce back week. I'm rooting for it. Just know that. I'll be cheering for it. Start Walker or Chase at the flex. You got to go Kenneth Walker, bro. Chase could be on a pitch count, too. Not saying I don't start Chase at least my wide receiver 2 or flex, but he could be on a pitch count. Pick 2, Olave, Gabe Davis, Pittman, Garrett Wilson. I go Gabe Davis and Olave and put Garrett Wilson on the bench, but very, 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 very tough. I wouldn't be opposed to going Gabe or Olave with Garrett Wilson, though, so trust your gut on that. Those are 3 very, very, very close, like almost equal calls. Guilty with the $5 super chat. What's up, Smitty? Trying to call in right now, and it's sending me to voicemails because the voicemail line was packed, bro. But you can try in right now. Do I leave a voicemail or no? Only voicemails on Instagram, like you're doing for the voicemails, and on the phone calls, I don't ever check the voicemails on that. So dial in if you've got a quick question. Appreciate Robert with that $20 hauler earlier. Mark says best three: Wilson, Deebo, Christian Watson, Burke, Zay Jones. Probably going to go Garrett Wilson, Deebo, and Christian Watson. I love Zay Jones a lot, but unfortunately I can't find a way to start him from that crew. Cameron with a super chat. 2 questions. 1, Myers tonight or Burks? Probably go Burks. I can only have 4 running backs on my roster. Do I drop Swift or Jamal for Wilson Jr.? I don't know, bro. I would say no for right now. I want Wilson Jr., but that's crazy. I guess Wilson Jr. over Swift is safer, but I don't know that I could drop Swift personally. I don't think that's something I could actually pull the trigger on. But I do love Jeff Wilson Jr., but I'd probably rather roll the dice with Swift. But it's very, very close, very arguable. I'd love to know what the chat thinks. Can you drop a Wilson Jr. or a Swift in the comments? I think Jamal Williams is too safe for touchdown production to drop, though. And if the chat thinks drop Jamal, put that in there. Who do you start? Fields, Dak, Watson. You start Fields if he's playing. JT, Pierce, White. You go JT, and probably I would say tough call between Pierce and JT. I'm sorry, start JT. Tough call between Pierce and Jeff Wilson and White. I lean Jeff Wilson if you like a little bit of risk, revenge game for him in a sense. And Pierce is just, I could understand anybody benching him until he proves himself. Hill and Lamb would be your wide receiver 1 and 2. And then if you could start a third wide receiver, it'd be Evans over Olave for me, but very, very close. And JT and whichever running back you chose, I think that Olave might overrule the Wilson and Rachaad White decision if you're going with a flex. I might choose Olave for the flex. Appreciate your super chat. And then Bills D or Browns. Probably go Browns, I guess. Steve, Jay Warren or Rachaad White. Probably go Rachaad White if it's me, but you're not crazy to go Jay Warren. Carlton says, to my last question, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 QB, 1 flex. Thank you. Appreciate you. I think I handled that exactly that way then because I mentioned Olave at the end. Thank you, Carlton. Appreciate you. So again, to recap, it would be JT, and it's a coin toss between Pierce and Jeff Wilson Jr., bro. I'd probably lean Jeff Wilson Jr., I suppose, and then it's Hill and Lamb, and then Olave for your flex. Oh, you got Evans, though. Hill, Lamb, and probably Evans for me. I'd probably put Olave on the bench, actually. That's a tough one, though. You have a tough scenario, bro. And then Eduardo says, full PPR, need a flex. Christian Watson, Jamal Williams, Zeke, Rachaad White. I think Christian Watson's probably safest at this point, but Jamal's pretty safe too. Jamal Williams and Christian Watson, you can't really go wrong there. I mean, one will outscore the other, but it's a very close call. I would lean Christian. Well, I don't know. I guess I go. What does the chat think? Jamal or Christian Watson? Let's give Eduardo our undivided attention on this one and help him out with this. Please vote in the chat. Earlier we had some voting. Jeff Wilson Jr., Swift. Yes, Burks is questionable. Hey, bros, need a flex. Christian Watson, Pollard, Sutton, White, or Knight. I'd probably go Christian Watson, bro. Watson, Pollard, the safest pending other news, says Mr. TD. Yeah, hit me with those answers there with this one, guys. Jamal or Christian Watson? Who you going with? Robert's going Watson. Travis is going Watson. Box going Jamal. Got a Watson and Watson. Watson, okay. There you have it. No problem, guys. Appreciate you all. Let's do the phone lines one more time. And then we might close this a little early tonight because the game's going on.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Hit me with your questions. Don't forget to use the code Smitty, Underdog Fantasy. Promo code Smitty, Underdog Fantasy. They'll match up to $100 in your first deposit. And this is my ticket right now. Diggs over 85.5 yards. Gabe Davis over 50.5. Tyler Bass is going to get at least 3 extra points to win me that one. Mac Jones under 242.5 total yards. And then Ramondre's got to score either a rushing or receiving TD, but just 1 TD is all he needs. And he'll be the over. Those are my picks this week. How can I sit Watson at this point? I agree. I think at this point you just got to start him. It's the right move. It feels like the right move. Antonio Brown locked himself inside his home. That sounds like Antonio Brown. Yeah, he's in some trouble. He's in some trouble now. He needs help. He needs help majorly. Texans winning. They want to beat Deshaun Watson. It's their Super Bowl. I have Watson, Fields, K1. Is it weird to hold all 3? No, not at all, bro. Not with Watson banged up. Fournette practice in full today. Yes, he did. We've been talking about that. Doesn't change the fact that Rachaad White's probably the better running back of the two. But it does mean that there's some carries that could be divided up, but it doesn't necessarily throw Rachaad White into the trash can like a lot of people want to do. It's crazy how quickly people want to just discard him. Like he's not even flex worthy. He's totally flex worthy question right now. I still love Rachaad White. Rondell might not come back, says Sir. Sit New England defense. Not necessarily, depends on your situation, but they can still cause turnovers. Josh Allen's still prone to throw a pick 6. It's not crazy to think that could happen. 2 questions, Josh Allen or Herbert. You got to go Allen. And Garrett Wilson or Christian Watson, that's a toss-up. Pick your poison, bro. I mean, Garrett Wilson's coming into his own. Watson's coming to his own. I mean, it's hard to say. Hard to say, man. Watson is sending the Texans to Uranus. Planet Uranus? Maybe. Is that where Watson's sending him?
And off he goes to the planet known as Uranus.
All right, guys. I appreciate you all. I'm live Monday through Friday. This is the shortest show we've ever had in the entire season. 1 hour and 6 minutes. I've never gone live shorter, I think, this year than an hour and a half. And we've gone 4 and 5 hours before. But I'm going to watch this game. I know you guys are all getting ready for it. 225 of you still in here. If you guys could punch the thumb up button, please. There's 230 of you still in here, and only 125 thumbs up have been smashed. Can you do that for me? Do your boy Smitty a solid and punch that thumb up button. It only takes a second, and it helps me. It helps me more than you know. White still staying in my lineup regardless, says who was that? Who said that? Hayden, appreciate you. Guaranteed 3.2 extra points tonight because of those unis. Okay. We appreciate our time, Smitty. Appreciate you, Sam. Appreciate whatever you're saying there. Appreciate you, my guy. Thanks, Travis. Thank you. Punch that thumb up button on your way out the door. Can we do a live? Can we like the video more than once? If you have different accounts, you can. Smash the thumb up button. Appreciate you, Smitty. Ramondre, let's have a day. Let's have a day for Ramondre. Let's go, mashed potatoes. Let's have a day. Let's have a day, Ramondre. See you all later. Please watch The Panic Chamber. I'm live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. I'm live whenever news breaks. I'm also live on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at midnight. That means I'm live tonight. So I'll see you all tonight. Another reason I'm going to jump a little early is because I'm going to be back here talking with all you fine folks after the game. So I will see you tonight after the game. Peace out. Catch you later. I'm benching Allen tonight. You shouldn't be, Anthony. Watson time, says Anthony. Thumbs up for Smitty, says Nick. Appreciate you, Smitty, says Andrew. Robert, appreciate you, Robert. Don't do it, Anthony, says Sam. Mitch says thank you. I'll see you all later. Good luck tonight if you got guys going. I'll see you tonight for the midnight live stream.
Kenneth Skywalker. Kenneth Lightsaber Swinging Skywalker.